Welcome to Projects for All. My name's Mike, and today we got a whole lot of Skil stuff to check out. This stuff here was sent to me for free from Skil to show to you guys. The chainsaw, 18-inch PowerCore 40 chainsaw, looks awesome. I have not tried it out. That's getting its own video. Keep an eye out for that. Hedge trimmer, PowerCore 20 hedge trimmer. You got a 6-inch pruner and an extendable version. PowerCore 40, 10-inch pole saw. I bought off Amazon for 150 bucks. Why? Because I freaking need it, and we're gonna throw it in this video. So let's check this stuff out. We got a lot of work to do. All right, we got a lot to look at, so let's start unboxing stuff. Just so you know, every one of these comes with a battery. Now, I have about 1 million of these batteries now because we've done a lot of Skil stuff, but I always charge with the charger that's included each battery when it comes, and I don't use the ones that are already charged that are in that toolbox back there. I do that on purpose because we've looked at so many of these batteries now, and if there's ever a problem with Skil batteries, the one thing I can tell you is I've used a lot of them. So let's start with the little guy, and then we'll work our way up. If you don't watch this channel on the regular, or if you do, you've seen my little Chicago yard with a few bushes. You're about to see my new yard, which is 1/3 of an acre and has a lot of bushes and things that need to be trimmed. Everything out there needs to be trimmed. So this is real good timing for me because we're gonna test the snot out of this stuff. There's your shrub kit. I like this, man. It weighs next to nothing. Got an extra red color on this one. Got us a charger, PowerCore 20 2 amp-hour battery. You get your owner's manuals, of course, 5-year warranty on everything in this video. 3-year standard, you register the tool, they give you 5-year warranty, just register. So I'm not gonna say that again. It's all the tools. Register your tool, why wouldn't you? 5 years is a long time. So what you get, a charger, 2 amp-hour battery, a pair of blades. Now, they say to put the cover on. I find the cover for this one, the cover that came with it is just flexible and it's not super easy to get back in there. I would have liked to seen a better cover for this. To install, you got your tabs at the back there and they fit into the slots there, like so. And then you push it on until it clicks. You got 2 buttons, press the buttons, pull the blade off. This has a hard plastic cover, which is a little bit nicer. We'll pull that off just a little bit so it doesn't interfere. Same story, tabs, buttons, push until it clicks. Works nice. Easy storage. Couple screw holes. It's plastic. I guess you could do this with a nail on the wall too, but it just fits nicely on there and stays. So you can screw this to the old garage wall and just hook the sucker right on there. Obviously, we don't have a battery in this when we're messing with our blade, and I wouldn't recommend you put your hands any closer to that blade than this handle. So you get your safety right there. There's your lockout button for your trigger. Nice and quiet. Let's try the other one. Nice and quiet, nice and smooth. All right. 6-inch pruning saw kit. Who doesn't like a little one-handed chainsaw? Less than 3 pounds, 6 inches, up to 114 cuts per charge. Nice handguard. Including hangers with all of these. 2 amp-hour battery, half charge. We got a guard. Spring-loaded on the top, trigger lockout, ambidextrous. A big old hand guard, which is nice. Belt clip, little tab flips up. This is like quarter turn for your bar oil. And then we have an automatic tensioning system behind this cover here, which has the same kind of flip-up cap. Little baby chainsaw blade, 6-inch. It's got a bar just like a full-size chainsaw, just really small. And then you have a spring-loaded tensioning system for your chain tension right there. A couple studs. I'm assuming that's where the bar oil comes out. And you got your cog to drive the chain, and that's it. Super simple little guy. If you have the need for a full-size chainsaw, I feel that you have a need for this too. I'm gonna show you why, because we got a lot of stuff that I cut up with the big chainsaw yesterday when we did that video. So I made a big old mess in the yard, and rather than cut up all the little branches with the big chainsaw, I think this is gonna make life a little bit easier. I should be wearing gloves, and when you handle these things, you should be wearing gloves too. It's basically the same as this guy, with a different handle style and a telescoping extension. When it is not telescoping, it is a little bit longer. Less than 4 pounds, 6-inch bar and chain, up to 115 cuts per charge. The front of this is pretty much the same as that. They are the same animal. It's the back end that's different on this one. It is still one-handed, but a little beefier and a little bit different design in the rear. And then you get a button here. So this little guy, from the handle to the bar, is like 6 inches. From the handle to the bar on this one, we'll say the middle of the handle is 22 inches. It's about 9 inches. So a few more inches from the handle to the blade when it's fully compressed. And it has a different style, straight versus curved. This is thicker. The battery sits in a different position. The trigger is a little different on this one. It just has a fatter handle overall. Came with the same stuff, except it also came with this little bottle. You got a sprocket at the end of the bar. This one has one too. This little saw here has no bar oil tank on it. This one does. They tell you to take the bottle with bar oil in it or some kind of lubricant and put a drop in there every 10 cuts. Last but not least, 40-volt brushless pole saw. It's going to be a little assembly with this one. Lightest in its class. 40 volts, quick charge 15 minutes, full charge an hour, 9-foot telescopic shaft, IPX4 rated. There's your handle. This looks like a nicer handle than is included with Skil's weed whackers. Got our typical charger, 2.5 amp hour battery, pre-charged by yours truly. Chain comes in a bag, 10-inch bar. Like the two little ones, you get a sprocket and a little hole you should probably lubricate there. Handling this carefully because I don't have gloves on like I ought to. It's got a tank for the bar oil. It's got yet another cover. It's a little different. Tensioning stud. Operates with this, obviously. The inside looks like pretty much all of them. You got a stud and a threaded stud. Bar oil and the sprocket that drives the chain. It's got a handy diagram so you can see you're putting it on the correct way. Got to index that just a little bit to get it to work. There we are. Should be able to pull that up about a 1/4 inch or so, give or take. Captive cap for the chain oil. The only thing that runs in the pole is the electrical connection because your motor is on the end here. Pretty simple stuff. There you go. Just threads together, easy to break down if you want to store this in 2 pieces. So it unthreads from that end, and once it's loose, the telescopic part is on a spring, so it wants to retract. So you extend it, and tighten this back down. It's gonna be really hard to get in the shot. Still not really in the shot, about 110 inches. Fully extended from one end to the other. Without the extension, about 90 inches total, give or take. I was about to walk outside, and I realized that these switches are totally different. This switch is on and off. There is no variable speed on that. It is just on and off. This little one, this has a variable speed trigger. I'm gonna tell you, before I even go outside, I like this one more. This one has a skinnier handle. It fits, I wear a large size glove. I don't have giant hands for my size, but I don't have little hands, and this fits me perfect. I can get the safety lock out. It's ambidextrous, but I can hit it with my thumb, which is kind of short. And I like the variable speed trigger. This straight fat handle, I can barely hold on to this thing. Like, look. And then I can't get to this. There's actually a bump here. You would think it would be here. It's not. You have to kind of use two hands to position, and then I can only get that much on the trigger. This is far less comfortable of a design than that one. This is about as perfect a place as you could possibly find to showcase what these tools can do. So we're really gonna figure it out. Just about every branch you see that goes sideways here needs to come out. It's just taking up yard space and not looking so good. I brought the chainsaw out here. You can see that video. It has its own video to illustrate a point on these smaller pruners and how they're gonna help you process this once you cut it down with the chainsaw. Bigger than I thought it would be. I guess I didn't really look at it too close. But this is a perfect example. Rather than using the big chainsaw to cut up all this little stuff, these little hand pruners are gonna come in real handy right now. Having a hand free helps out a lot, I think. I feel having one hand free is a lot safer. You could do this with the big chainsaw, and if I didn't have these, I would, but the reality is having a hand to hold on to things, you don't realize when things have pressure on them or getting twisted a certain way until you get whipped in the face. Not bad at all. Not freaking bad for this little 20-volt tool with its 2-amp-hour battery. Not bad. This is the second time I've cut down this much brush. I haven't even put a dent in anything yet. So these tools are gonna get used a lot this summer and probably next summer too. This guy, I must have some sawdust or something jammed in it, but it's starting to loosen up again, but it is a little sticky. I'm gonna have to pull the screw out of that and find out what's wrong with it. Oh, I threw a chain. You little jerk. Take the battery out. I've thrown a chain off of every single chainsaw I've ever owned, so I'm not surprised. That was 2 branches coming twisted together. I tried to shove this thing in there, so I'm gonna go with user error on this, but let's make sure there's no damage. All right, let's see what I did here. This is pretty stiff. Definitely something jammed in that. I didn't take this apart yet, so, oh yeah. Uncoil the spring. All right, I don't see any damage to anything. I think we just got it bound up pretty good. Had some wood chips stuck in this, so we'll put the guard back on. We'll clean all that out of there. I don't think I broke anything. I think it was just shoving the chainsaw where it shouldn't have gone. Chain looks okay. I don't see anything bent or broken. Let's put it back together. This is actually pretty easy. It's got a couple grooves in it. There we go, and we just line it up. So if that stops working for you, just take it apart. It's pretty easy to take apart and put back together. Perfect. There we go. I don't even think the tension's wrong. I think I just was getting a little crazy. I don't think I've ever had a chainsaw I didn't throw the chain off of a couple times, once in a while. Back in business. So next up we got this one. This is the extended reach. Like I explained in the overview, this one has a fat grip, which I can grip just fine. I have a large sized hand, large glove, but the safety is ambidextrous and my stubby thumbs can barely get to it. If I put just my fingertip on the safety, just my fingertip can reach the trigger. So this is two-handed for me. I'm gonna have to push the button and pull the trigger. There is no safety release on this side like the little one has on both sides. So there's no hit it with my index finger option. I don't like this one as much. Although, if you need the extended reach, then maybe it's worth it for you. With it fully retracted, it has just as much power as the other little one. Not bad for a 6-inch chainsaw. All right, in no time flat, I'll be able to process and cut up all this stuff we just cut down with these little chainsaws here. After I did the actual chainsaw video, I used the littlest one to basically cut up everything that I'd cut down with that video. But we got a ton of stuff to do here. This is a chainsaw reviewer's paradise back here because all this is half dead and a mess. We got branches hanging off this that are dead. If we turn around, behind the garage, more. These are basically weed trees that have just taken over back here. And we're gonna be cutting up a lot. This pile's gonna get way bigger. In fact, we're probably gonna use one of our upcoming table saw videos to build this little firewood hut back here because we're gonna have a lot of freaking firewood. Start with some lower stuff. See how much power it's got. Like butter. Last but not least, I think this one's a little more useful, but it all depends on what you're using it for. Honestly, from full-size trees to this little stuff, this is probably still my favorite, this little guy here. Pole saw, powerful as hell. It's 40 volts. I have a 6-amp-hour battery on it. It kicks ass. The big chainsaw, no problem at all. I've already used this little guy to cut up pretty much this much brush already once. This little 2-amp-hour battery didn't die. Not bad, not freaking bad, Skil. If you own a property with a lot of overgrowth like this, these little tools, invaluable. Let me know what you guys think. Hit like, hit subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot, and we're gonna be doing some serious table saw stuff real soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.